Welcome back. Decided to do like a kind of a back-to-back thing, with the episode. Um, and this is episode 5 for sure. This one is Drake versus Kendrick. Now, the only reason I decided to do this one is because the whole situation where Kendrick is currently touring and he's over there in Canada, I believe Toronto to be exact. Now, I just wanted to give you guys my take on both artists because this battle took place, you know, well over a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And uh, last summer to be exact. Now, what I'm getting to, I'm like, you know, I just want Drake fans to really realize, what's happening, and I want y'all to cut the delusion out. The guy Kendrick really destroyed this guy, Drake, bar for bar. I don't care about Family Matters, man. It's not really that good of a song. When you come out there and you create diss records, and this is to my younger people because they're not understanding like the grounds that gives you that W for diss records. Like it's really like it's not up for discussion. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? You think Family Matters is better than Meet the Grams? Meet the Grams was extremely tailored to, you know, Drake. And Drake is a good artist for for your generation. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not really with it. But when you take a song like Meet the Grams and he's breaking his whole family down bar by bar, bro, and not really exactly like just sitting there like trying to destroy his family, but he's really like letting them know like this is what I think about your son. This is what I think about your father. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? And this is still like a thing that's lingering over everybody's heads. And I'm like, bro, this beef been over with, bro. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the rapping, I don't know about as far as personally goes, but as far as rapping, this is over with. Hold that L, man. You know what I'm saying? What can Drake really do at this point? You see what he was doing during the beef. He was, when he was losing, he was sending out memes. Like, we gotta stop it. That's not what we do here in hip hop. You know, the guys gotta really like, go ahead and just do your music, man. Just like whatever it is that you're doing, you know what I mean. And be honest with you, you might as well just stick to like pop music and stuff like that. Make the women happy, make the sassy dudes kind of happy too. There's a lot of them that's out there. There's a lot of sassy dudes. Some of them look kind of like Drake. You know it. On social media. Click on some of their profile. You be like, what the heck? You really think you look like Drake, bro? Stop it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when we're talking about hip hop, because I know some of these guys that are giving their opinions of hip hop when it comes to, this record for this record, it's not even close. He packed him up. Shout out to I think what's his name? Will Mills, I think that's his name. So he created that term. Pack him up. Pack him up. Please pack him up. Because there's nothing that Drake can honestly, say at this point that's going to even bother Kendrick. What are you going to talk about him having domestic violence or something like that? And you don't even know that, for real. But we know one thing for sure, Drake done kind of been out there and it's kind of on the on the verge of like talking to like underage women and stuff like that. Stuff is like foolproof. So what you doing talking to Millie Bobby Brown? You know, like you got to cut the nonsense out. And then I've seen other videos where there's other young women that are like that were coming fresh out of high school. I think they were probably going into like maybe their first or second year of college and stuff like that. And he's sitting up there going to their basketball games while they're still in high school, or checking them out while they still, playing high school basketball. I'm like, bro, you gotta, like, what are you doing? And then the number one thing, outside of that and Millie Bobby Brown, you know what I'm saying? The guy went out there and kissed some underage girl on stage. That's bro. You, like, what are you doing, bro? You're a whole superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be out there like really. And then you've had dates with like older women and stuff like that. Come on now. You know, what I mean, you basically a grown man. You about my age, bro. Well, close to it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fall back. That ain't nothing to be, proud of, that you trying to like, bag like younger women and stuff like that. Like, go talk to women around your age, or and I would say this: the least you should be going is probably like a 10-year difference. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because those women at that particular time, like what Drake is like, what, 37 or something like that. So you date a 27-year-old, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But don't sit up there and try to groom young women. That's just out of pocket. Like you, and I would want this, same message to go out to, guys that are like, older, that's got a mindset like Drake. You know what I'm saying? Which they basically in their second childhood. Like, bro, you damn near 40, man. You middle age. You know what I'm saying? Young cat's gonna call you Unc. Now, what's Unc doing trying to holler at the nieces? You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fall back, bro. That's not even cool. So back to the bars, right? When you getting out there to the bars, 616 in LA destroys them. Euphoria destroys them. You know what I'm saying? Not like us destroys them, but Meet the Grams is a casket closer. And I would want somebody to really to kind of like review these bars, bar for bar, and what I'm saying, and you can see what I'm seeing, because I done heard this stuff, and I'm like, I heard Drake stuff, and I was just like not that impressed, bro. But when I heard Kendrick stuff, oh my God, very much so tailored, very much so. And Euphoria was crazy. You know what I'm saying? He really like dug him a hole, bro. Like, what is, he had nothing for him at that point. He should have just bowed down at that point. And he knew this stuff was coming. He shouldn't even try to accept, Kendrick's, challenge at all. You know what I'm saying? Or if there was a challenge to be accepted. Or he should have never really just went over there and cut the mic on at all. You know what I mean? Because it's like Drake is not that type of guy. Drake musically is a good, artist. You know what I'm saying? At least for this generation. Not for me. I'm gonna keep reiterating on that. He's a good artist for this generation. You know what I'm saying? And they like his music, and that's good for them. You know what I'm saying? And I've never, because I'm gonna give you my personal, opinion on Drake. Like when I first I bought his album because I mess with Wayne, so you know what I'm saying. I said, let me check this Drake guy out. Now I think he's talented, you know what I'm saying, because he can sing, harmonize, and all that stuff. And then he's good at performing bars, similar to a Puff Daddy. I know this is ironic to even talk about that, with him and this. But shout out to yeah. I can't even really say that because what I've seen with Puff. I'm kind of disappointed. But at the same sentence, it's like you never know what's going on with that. But with Drake, I've seen that on stage. That's crazy. And now with Puff, I've seen what happened with him and Cassie. So that was you know televised on TV. So, but anyways, back to Drake. So like when I heard like his first album and one of his first mixtapes, so, it just wasn't for me. Me personally, because when I heard his album, I heard more singing than I did rapping, and I just got kind of turned off. I said, man, if I'm listening to that, I might well, pop on some Keith Sweat or something. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that. So it's not for me, man. And I think that rapping wise, he's just okay. ain't nothing over the top. And they like, yeah, Drake's the GOAT. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, maybe for your generation, but overall, no. That man ain't no GOAT for real. He's okay, but you know what I'm saying. But he ain't like the GOAT of all GOATs. That's insane to say. Like, to be honest with you, this is kind of like a LeBron, Curry type of situation, and to where you can look at somebody that like Curry, like Steph Curry, who's small in stature, just like Kendrick Lamar, but then got more wins off of LeBron than anybody. So you know what I'm saying. I want these guys to look at this stuff, clearly. You know what I'm saying. And it's not always about popularity when it comes down to music. It's all about what you say, uh, sonically how it sounds, and everything can't sound like a party track. That's just nonsense. Like listen to some music that takes you outside of that. That means you boxed in as a listener. You know what I'm saying? You're very much a surface level listener, and you're just sitting there listening to party music 24/7 every time you cut on the radio. You ain't got no type of like variations to what you listen to, and I kind of feel sad for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't gotta sit there and listen to you know uh, whatever Drake's presenting. Turn on something else, man. There's a lot of rappers out there outside of Drake. And if you're just listening to mainstream, you know what I'm saying, I advise people to like go out there and tap into some of the underground artists, because there's a lot of underground artists out there that are kind of doing that thing too, and they're getting overlooked. But anyways, back to Drake, he's not that great, bro. He is just average at best. And to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying, he could have passed the torch right back to Lil Wayne if you ask me. Now, you know what I'm saying, I know people are probably looking at, Lil Wayne currently today, you know what I'm saying, with the Carter 6 and stuff like that. But one thing I would say about Wayne is his lyrics are still there. Despite him not having like great production with this recent release of the Carter 6, it's okay because he still raps. He's still hungry as a rapper. Now Drake, you listen to that, you be like, nah, man, this is just okay. Like the beat really carrying Drake, and that's why people love him, bro. Let's be honest. It's not even all that good, But yeah, man. Like just really like sit back and give for those that haven't given Kendrick a chance. Just give his stuff, because when I listen to Kendrick since um, his first two albums, I was like, man, especially when he dropped Good Kid, Mad City. You know what I'm saying? That was like one of the ones right there, man. Yeah, one of the ones. Please quote me. That was what made him to me better than Drake from Jump. It's an album about his life over there in Compton, from start to finish. Even the skits is crazy, because it really brings you into that reality of like the mindset of Compton. And I always looked at Kendrick like as a West Coast version of Nas. You know what I'm saying? Because he's telling stories from his point of view. What's going on and stuff like that. And and the guy's incredible, and he you can tell by the way he raps, his influences are like really showing up in his raps, and you like, man, so this guy probably listened to Nas a little bit, listen to 50, and then he even had like a little small skit where they was playing Jeezy and stuff like that. I respect that, because Jeezy ain't talked about enough either, and he's one of them ones. So you gotta, you guys gotta expand your palette a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And don't count Kendrick out, because Kendrick is like one of those. He's like one of those artists, like from everything from the stage presence to the actual like visuals and stuff, like how everything looks. And you saw how it was at the Super Bowl. This is what Kendrick been doing. You can go to any award show that he's ever been on. He's always put on a show that's like 10 times better than whatever you've seen Drake do. Drake, when Drake comes on there, he starts to like do like, kind of corny stuff, and I'll be like, man, this is remember that it's like a clip of him coming out with like bullet holes and they smoking and stuff like that's kind of corny. I get what his message was, that he was trying to say that they shot me and and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But no, brother, you died. You know what I'm saying? You died. You died right there on stage. I'm so sorry, bro. And you have to, find your way, to win and not just, doing all them corny gimmicks and stuff like that. It's not gonna work. The memes, the bullet holes in the shirts, it's not it. The guy killed you with straight lyricism. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the way that I always loved and viewed hip hop. Like you come in there with your pen, sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like you come in ready to write. You come in back and you see what Kendrick was doing when the whole thing popped off. He was dropping tracks off back to back, back to back. He just dropping tracks off, and Drake couldn't really do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? And Drake, it seemed like his strategy was he was trying to anticipate what Kendrick was doing, but you can't really do that because Kendrick's like 10 steps. Kendrick low key is really like a genius low key. You know what I mean? And the guy is incredible, man. And West Coast, they got some of the top MCs of all time to come. Just LA and the Bay, they outstanding, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what them boys up there in Toronto was thinking, bro. And I want to say this too: if it ever gets out of hand, I'm telling you, them Bloods, Crips, and Essays, they ain't gonna be playing that, bro. You know what I'm saying? What's that dude's name? Be hanging with Drake, Top, and all them. Yeah, be careful, bro. Barking up the wrong tree. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be waiting for your boy out there in LA whenever you come. But you know what I'm saying? And they better not, touch that boy Kendrick, man, because he's a guy that's in small in stature, but you know what I'm saying? But he's actually, been a voice for those guys over there in the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And then when the whole thing popped off with, Joey Badass and all them, and Joey Badass did his thing because I like Joey Badass, but you know what I'm saying? But see how many cats came out of, out of that LA ready to spit fire and stuff like that. That's how it is, man. They take up for each other. And that's what I like about the West Coast. They got so much unity. So, but hopefully everything just stays there on the positive side, and it's just friendly raps and stuff like that. And even Kendrick mentioned that. You know what I'm saying? It was all friendly till you mentioned my family's name. You know what I'm saying? So I want rap to stay positive because we've had too many people passing away over the course of the existence of hip hop. So you know what I'm saying, just keep everybody safe. But Drake, you wrong, bro. And I want Drake to like rethink things about how he moves or whatever his urges are and stuff like that. Just let all that go, man. They choose some grown women, bro. They out here. There's some grown women that are gorgeous, and then you passing them up every day. You know what I'm saying? And please just don't use women just for plain sex. That way you're probably messing up at this age. You should be just like Kendrick. You should be married. You know what I'm saying? Since you got all the money and the power and all that, go get you a woman, bro. Stop with all that nonsense, man. Knock it off. So but again, I appreciate you guys for hanging with me. I just had to say that piece to get it off my chest. Tap in, like, comment, and subscribe to the OG Mike podcast. Keep this thing rolling. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.